to transition to his real form, the mighty Axular in the Cromwell meeting room. The members are concerned and curious that two of the lady representatives defend Joshua, as he gets called weak and fragile by some. Joshua has won too. The stones are reacting to each other. Uravis seems to have been aggravated and screams, as he is a valuable asset to them and any harm done to him may bring loss to the moon doors. He also mentions that the price has gone up and that he will now charge 100 million gold for the information. Uravis leaves and ponders that the information they have about Joshua may be priceless. Very significant, the member of the moon doors, while talking to Zero, says that rumors have spread regarding the unification of the assassinations organization on the continent for the elimination of Joshua. Zero wants to make sure nobody finds out about Joshua since Joshua has information about the Crimson Coin, which the moon door needs at any cost. Axular is happy to have recovered earlier than usual and praises Joshua for having surpassed the priests in holy magic skills as Iceland mentions the Lion King. Axular tells her that Joshua will have to fight the Lion King, one of the 12 superhumans. In order to win Reinhardt, Joshua encounters the Tarpeian, the Storm Seat magician, and tells him that Evergrande will take over the magic tower and kill the current owner. Ian Dunpere Theta doesn't believe him and says he can no longer entertain false information. Joshua says he'll ensure to stop Evergrande, but in return, he asks him to help him become the emperor of the empire. Uravis is informed that Theta has forfeited the battle, which surprises him. Theta, however, informs Ian Dunpere, the magic master, of the fact that Joshua has already used Bronto and that 5 years ago someone tried to take Bronto from Joshua but was killed. The magic master doesn't believe Theta and asks him to return to the magic tower. He has to appoint a new assistant leader. The master of the moon door has called for Joshua. She reminds him of the Crimson Coin promised to them by Joshua 5 years ago. She agrees to tell Joshua everything if he reveals the location of the Crimson Coin. As she removes her veil, we find out that she is Lily Aphrodites, paladin of Hubald, and master of moon doors. She expresses the importance of the Crimson Coin, saying that it is a symbol of the god Hermes. She continues telling Joshua that the Tear of God artifact that Joshua destroyed was of great importance, and now the Pope is looking for the Crimson Coin to replace it. Joshua reveals the location of the coin, saying it is in the Imperial Avalon Empire. Joshua assures her that he'll get it. She asks for another favor in return for providing information. She proposes to Joshua and asks him to marry her in order to get the information he wants. Joshua is agitated and leaves. The finals have begun, and Joshua Sanders and Uravis have been selected. Uravis possesses a sword that is connected by wire between each portion and is named the Whip Sword. As they begin fighting, Uravis uses his unusual sword to create unpredictable sword slashes to disorient the target. Joshua believes Uravis is going to be a tough opponent. Uravis uses the Inferno of Extinction again, predicting the end of Joshua already. Joshua manages to deflect it. Uravis is surprised and realizes that there's something more to Joshua than what he shows. They both possess the Primordial Stone, which is why they are more than eager to defeat one another. They both use their extraordinary abilities and try to surpass one another. Uravis is overconfident at the thought of winning a duel between fire and lightning. As the audience shouts, it truly is a worthwhile duel to watch. Joshua makes a bet with Uravis that whoever loses will give their primordial to the winner. Joshua uses all his spear techniques to fight the mighty Uravis. Joshua uses his 5-star spear technique and pierces through Uravis, throwing him to the ground and winning the Master Wars with utmost courage. Uravis realizes he got unconscious and has been defeated by Joshua. He gets an uneasy feeling and realizes his power is being drained. The magma in him has left him since it cannot accept defeat. As he wakes up, he realizes it was all a dream, and he finds himself injured in his bed with a letter that is from Joshua, reminding Uravis of the bet they had during the fight. Joshua has now won and is considered the king of Reinhardt. He asks them to not conduct pointless ceremonies and get to the point. The knights get offended, saying Joshua cannot skip the important coronation as the people may find him a king by name. Joshua says if his skillful coronation can lead to such chaos and hatred from people, he wouldn't want to be the king of Reinhardt. They apologize to Joshua and promise to ignore hatred from people and not worry about pointless traditions. Joshua accepts the position, and everyone is sure he'll bring change to Reinhardt. Joshua is now reminded of the challenge of fighting one of the 12 superhumans. He chooses Barbarian Mercenary as his opponent. Who is the strongest of all of them? Barbarian has been informed of the duel and is looking forward to it. In Joshua's past life, he was killed and defeated by the Barbarian Mercenary King, but now, with his utmost strength, he may surpass him and defeat him in the Pontier's meeting room. Icarus and Princess Cheryl are formed, and Joshua will be fighting the Barbarian Mercenary King, which has made Barbarian get distracted and disappear. They get assurance that Joshua is still supporting them in every way possible. They receive news of Cain being in danger as he was sent by Icarus into the middle. The enemy forces. Each one of the members, including Cox, has been intentionally misinformed by Icarus in order to find out who the spy from the Pontiers is that is spreading the updates to Cromwell. Count Cox is suspected of revealing and exposing all the information and working against Pontiers. And for Cromwell, Icarus manages to find the spy with evidence and exposes him. Count Cox turns out to be the spy who has betrayed the Pontiers and poisoned the Duke as well. Cox admits to being the spy and says today marks the end of the Pontier family, indicating he has done something that could destroy the empire. Joshua is given the crown by the Lion King, and he says he's disappointed Joshua didn't choose him as his opponent. He is impressed by Joshua's strength and courage. He says Joshua reminds him of when he was young and has the same willpower and strength. He gifts Joshua a coin-like object and advises him to always look around him and not at those above him, since it's always your allies trying to destroy you. Iceland is pissed at Joshua for choosing to fight the mercenary king even though she had warned him already. Meanwhile, Lily Aphrodite shows up and says she is rooting for Joshua, her boyfriend Joshua. Sanders Iceland gets triggered and says she's Joshua's most precious friend. Lily has come for the bet she made on Joshua of 50,000. Iceland comes forward and says she has bet 500,000 gold, which is primarily a gold ticket. Lily's makes a deal with Axular and, in return, asks him to become the mercenary king. Joshua is encountered by Count Airy, and he says he's been waiting for 5 years to fight him. He strikes at Joshua, but Joshua escapes and uses other techniques to strike back. He uses magma and magic spear art stage 5. The Knights of Reinhardt realize there's a fight going on in the forest. Count Airy promises to share the truth about the Agnes family with Joshua if he gets defeated. Once Joshua defeats him, he begins to tell him the truth but is interrupted by the Knights of Reinhardt who have come to protect Joshua. He tells Joshua to be careful of his father because he is the black god of the Avalon Empire. As the men gather, they pledge to support and protect him all the time. Cain is saved by the Death Knight sent by Joshua to save him from the explosion. Cain is surprised that the demon has been sent to protect him. The Death Knight says he can detect energies and that there has been a large explosion near the castle, and the princess and others are inside. Cain says they have Icarus and need not worry. A few days later, Princess Searle and the other leave the castle with Duke Pontiers. Icarus is suspicious of Baron Arna, as he believes the Baron knows what the enemy is up to and has been informing them of everything. Icarus is worried Baron Arna might cause trouble, which he eventually does. He was a spy working for the Cromwells, as they had promised him funds. Princess Cheryl says she is ready to sacrifice herself and her father, and the rest should be left untouched. Baron Arna is adamant and wants to kill Icarus. She agrees to accept all the conditions of Cromwell, and soon after, Cain shows up and has brought the Death Knight in order to fight Baron Arna and defend Princess Cheryl and others. Cain challenges Baron Arna, saying that he will fight and defeat all his knights along with him. As they begin fighting, Cain manages to defeat all the knights with one strike. He uses the Aura Blade to fight Baron and manages to intimidate and scare him with some strikes. As they defeat him and the rest, Princess Cheryl suggests they go to the Peril Castle, as the territory is owned by her uncle Joshua and his knights. Reinhardt reach the Avalon territory but are stopped by the heads of the Avalon territory. Joshua introduces them as his own trusted knights and is then allowed to go inside. The Mercenary King has declared a call up at the mercenary headquarters. The Mercenary King is advancing towards the Pontier family. Axular and Iceland plan on getting involved to stop the Mercenary King. Meanwhile, the Cromwells are plotting to reach the Pontiers and attack them. The King of Cromwell has already sent his son, Juog, to deal with the Pontiers, and the Mercenary King is waiting for his knights to arrive so he can chase the Pontiers and defeat them. Juog has reached the Peril Castle and has set it on fire. The fire has been set, and Icarus and Cain are trying to protect the walls from catching fire while Juog orders for the doors to be broken. As the troops break the doors and get inside, they are thrown away by the trap set by Icarus. Meanwhile, an intruder named Left of the Cromwell family has arrived and asked the Pontiers to become slaves of Cromwell's. Soon after, another knight shows up. They begin fighting, and Cain is adamant they won't give up at any cost. Juog asks his knights to bring Princess Cheryl alive as a prize. Cain asks her to get away and hide, but she says they need to work together to stop them. Icarus tells them to hold on until Joshua comes. Lady Cheryl attacks from the left and finds herself thrown to the ground as she is about to get attacked. Joshua shows up to protect her. He shouts, "I'll kill everyone who comes in my way." As Joshua shows up, he manages to knock down the knight who tried to kill Lady Cheryl. He encounters another knight, Left, who says that more reinforcements are coming. Joshua asks Cain to hurry and cut him down. As the knight threatens Joshua, Cain gets aggressive and strikes at him, surprising him with the strength he still has left. Joshua gives the knights another chance to flee, but they do not take him seriously to teach them a lesson. He uses his extraordinary energies, like the great heavens lightning depth, to eliminate all the vanguards. More troops are asked to advance forward, and as they do so, they see a huge number of knights coming towards them. The knights are the ones from Reinhardt, who promise to support Joshua in everything. Cain and Wright get into a brawl, and Cain wins. Veron Sten asks his men to set fire again, but they hesitate as they have their own knights merged with those of Joshua, but Veron is indifferent and wants his orders accepted. Joshua encounters Veron and tells him how he'll meet the same fate again at the hands of Joshua. The Cromwells get overconfident with an army of 500 that Joshua eliminates with a single strike. Juog and the others have been defeated and are now the prisoners of Joshua.
That's it for today. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.